You know, I said when the turkey concept was first brought up, I said there's a very good chance I'm going to end up looking stupid if I come out wearing it. I mean, everyone said, oh, it's Thanksgiving, go ahead, you know. I felt it was not in any way in keeping with my image, the lyrics, the box, or any of those songs. They said, hey, you know, you take yourself so seriously. Why don't you stop taking yourself so seriously for a while, loosen up a little bit, and maybe people will laugh. You want to be Mr. Alienation? You can be Mr. Alienation. Well, I didn't want to be Mr. Alienation. I don't want to. I want to be a regular guy, but I feel this has just been a disaster. And I'm sorry. I'm just going to go and change. This is just a terrible mistake on my part. Wonderful. You call that wonderful?
What, you had a problem?
It was one of the most humiliating experiences of my life.
What? The band came in late?
The band is fine. The band?
Well, I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is I'm singing Still Crazy after all these years in a turkey outfit. Boy, would you like to sing in a turkey outfit?
I thought it worked great.
Yeah, what do I look like, Jan Michael Vincent here? You think I'm looking good?
Great. Honestly, why don't you just go change for the
Yeah,
next
let's
one,
just
okay?
do that. Let's
All
just
right.
say it was a difference of opinion.
Okay, maybe it was a difference of opinion, but I think it worked great. We'll be right back after this following message.
I can't fit through the door!
Live from Crackerbox Palace, it's Saturday Night Dive. Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Pruitt.
I'm Zach Hall.
And we are in the Circle 2 Lounge at Disc Golf Mart, Indianapolis. We are brought to you by Four Finger Discount, the Simpsons podcast from Australia that you should love if you don't know already. We are available on social media at Sat Night Dive Pod. Find us, follow us, encourage us to post, and you can email us or talk to us anywhere. That's YouTube comments, Spotify comments, but specifically on email at SaturdayNightDivePod@gmail.com to send us any thoughts you have on the show, any corrections, fun facts you have about things we've covered, or if you just want to say hey and let us know you're listening, that's where we are.
Yeah, but know that both of us are in really serious long-term committed relationships, so just pump the brakes a little bit. Take it easy.
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Another week, Saturday Night Dive. Zach, how are you?
Oh, I'm here, baby. I made it. I woke up today. How are you?
Good. I look forward to this all week. Every week around Wednesday, I'm like, man, it's a couple days from when I get to start watching SNL and thinking about talking about Zach. And then the night before, I don't know, sometimes when I watch these episodes for the first time, I'm like, how am I going to turn this into a conversation?
Right.
And then the second time I watch it on Sunday night, I'm starting to feel like in the spirit of Saturday Night Dive, and I feel ready. I'm amped. I'm jazzed. It's going to be a good one today.
It's the same for me, but my second time is on Monday morning.
Yeah, and that's okay. I get it. Because you're very, very old.
Yes.
So it has to be instant before you talk about it, or you'll forget.
My memory leaves me.
Well, that's why for our icebreaker in a second, I put a cheat sheet this week, so you won't have to remember anything.
I love it.
So how was your week? Do you have anything you want to talk about before we get started?
No, man, it's cold. Disc Golf Mart chose our sponsorship teams for 2026. Thank you to all who applied.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to all that made one of the three teams, the tournament team, the casual team, or the next gen team for the juniors.
Do you play on your own team?
I'm technically a member of the team. I'm the captain, but I don't take up a technical spot.
You're aware
I'm like a
of
ceremonial
your
captain.
space. Yeah. Okay.
We also have this year Indianapolis has a media field team made up of the C2 Productions crew.
People that are going to be filming.
That's correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they are the content creators for our disc golf stuff here in Indianapolis, and they do excellent work. Check them out, C2 Productions.
Yeah, it's been a while because we make short references to disc golf all the time. It's a big part of your life, and it's the building that we record the show in.
Yep.
Zach and a lot of his really talented disc golf enthusiast friends make really great content where they take awesome footage of, what do you call it, a disc golf match or a game? Tournaments where they take incredible, like sometimes aerial drone type footage and really well thought out footage of these tournaments that look just as professional as anything else you'd see. And Zach Hall himself, along with some other people, have done some really great commentary on these tournaments.
We sit right here in the Circle 2 Lounge and record commentary right here where you and I are sitting. So good time.
So I know you hate musical theater, something I want to talk about for a
I
second.
grew up in musical theater.
You hate musicals.
I don't like musical theater.
You've turned against it enough to make a statement like all musicals are bad when all nothing is something.
My musicals that are exempt are Newsies, South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut,
I agree with that one.
and I don't know. That might be it.
Not really a Newsies guy. Newsies is okay.
That's some good jams.
Now's the time to seize the day. That one's pretty good.
Mhm.
I went to, because we do season tickets for the Broadway shows that tour in Indianapolis. And this week we saw MJ the Musical, the Michael Jackson musical.
Okay, I thought I'm like, how are they going to make a musical out of Michael Jordan?
No, it was Michael Jackson. And we see all these shows. We're always excited. This was the one this season that I would not have bought a ticket for on my own.
Okay.
Michael Jackson, one of the greatest pop musicians of all time. Some of his songs, like the Off the Wall and Thriller albums, like the best pop production ever.
Right.
It's just the best.
What everyone's still trying to be.
I have my art versus artist issues with still engaging with Michael Jackson's work in 2026, even though my feelings about what he did or may not have done are always complicated and confused.
This is what it's like to listen to anything.
The musical, MJ the Musical, I thought was like terrible.
Oh, okay.
And it was Broadway caliber. It was like music video style performances of Michael Jackson songs. They were great. But anytime the music would stop and it would go to like a man
Storyline?
acting as Michael Jackson.
Right.
I'm like, well, you know, I had a really hard childhood. And he had this like teeth plate in to make his face look like Michael. So all of it was more like this.
Okay.
It was just awful.
Yeah, bad.
It was just awful. That's it. I just like, I love musical theater so much. And all that needed to do was like make the musical moments a wow. And I would have thought it was kind of worth it. Like the moment when they do Thriller in the end, I'm like, hell yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a cool way to do Thriller.
I bet the choreography was awesome.
Yeah, it was all based on one of Michael's specific tour rehearsals. So they did like that tour's version of Thriller. And it was really neat. Anyway. That's my quick review of a touring Broadway show. It brought the house down. We see all these shows, and this one was like slaying the crowd, like screaming. And I was like, really?
Yeah. You always just feel like you're the only guy there.
Really? Icebreaker or anything else?
Let's break some ice.
Favorite Michael Jackson song? Or album? Or one of your favorite Michael Jackson
I want to
songs?
say like, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is a pretty great song. Billie Jean's Unstoppable. There's some good tracks.
I'm a big fan of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Yeah.
And I really like some of his like ballady stuff. Like I really like the Earth song a lot.
Interesting.
I really like Human Nature a lot. PYT is a beautiful
PYT is
song.
not a bad song.
Anyway, the icebreaker this week, we're going to be talking about Finn Wolfhard's episode of Saturday Night Live that just aired this past Saturday. If you're watching this on YouTube, we often put these out as Saturday night mini dives, and I feel like it's worth saying in this segment of the show that we are also a full SNL rewatch podcast that started with season 1, episode 1. And if you're finding us bite-sized talking about the Finn Wolfhard episode, you should check out what we do on the main podcast.
Correct. And nothing that we do on the main podcast that we put on YouTube is, in fact, a clickbait trap for you to think that it's an actual episode of SNL.
Hey, but if it
you
works,
think that,
it works.
Then you should revisit the English language and your reading comprehension.
Well, anyway, I know that you aren't a Stranger Things guy, that you were not, you weren't like
Dude, I grew
dreading him.
I grew up in Hawkins, Indiana.
Basically.
Nobody did because it's not real.
Right. You weren't dreading him hosting, but you weren't excited for him hosting.
Not
How
at
did you
all.
feel about Finn Wolfhard?
I think he was better than I expected him to be. My bar was pretty low. But yeah,
He has some personality and presence for sure.
Yeah, but his proximity to looking like my brother-in-law always hurts him in my eyes. And I'm just being out the Stranger Things. I knew they were going to pull out a bunch of Stranger Things type of references and stuff like that. That I was going to it's going to be whatever to me.
Well, and they did, and of course they did, but it didn't feel too like, if you haven't watched the show, this won't mean anything to you. Because the one that was all the spin-offs, like if you don't know
Right.
Stranger Things, but you kind of know Sex and the City.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
pretty funny to
the
watch the
spin-offs were
3
good.
Stranger Things boys. Like the part when Finn Wolfhard stuck his tongue out to take a mean sip of a Cosmopolitan.
Jenna laughed out
Like
loud.
that was some commitment right
Yeah.
there. And I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard, apparently a straight man, and I do not believe it.
I don't care. His sexual orientation means nothing to me.
I don't know. I don't. My gay side is talked about, but doesn't come out too often. But to me, Finn Wolfhard, right about at this point, has grown into a cutie.
Okay. Well, I think that in the monologue when we'll get there in a second. It was remarked by a friend of a friend, Mr. Christopher Laud, that all of the kids looked 12 and 40 at the same time somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
I thought Finn was great. I thought he brought a lot of cool presence. I thought he has this really interesting personality that made sketches like the servant feeding his master sketch and even the kind of lame girls guy sketch. I kind of thought the demeanor that Finn brought as this like soft boy made those sketches better. And it's not always the host that makes sketches better. And I think in this episode, he did bring something. He brought presence to the, not in a could have been a cast member way, just in a like really successful host that I would like to see again kind of way.
Okay. Let's do a quick blitz.
Okay.
Cold opening.
It was fine. Even some of these characters that are appearing like Hegseth, as much as I love seeing Colin in sketches, it's starting to become diminishing return for me.
Uh-huh.
But we did get to see someone like Ashley Padilla play Christy Nome, who was previously Tina Fey. That was interesting. And seeing Jeremy Colhane play J.D. Vance, who used to be played by Bowen Yang. And I think Jeremy's a really good pick for that role.
Same.
What do you think of it?
If I had a superpower, it would be the power of Charles Xavier in one of the worst X-Men movies ever, Apocalypse. With his powers amplified, Dr. Xavier is able to be inside every mind at Earth at one time. I wouldn't want to go that far, but I would want to be in every mind in 8H at the same time. I would control everyone to the point that there would be nothing but dead silence for any Trump-related sketch. And I would do this for as many consecutive episodes as it took for Lorne and the writers to get a fucking clue. We're sick of it. It's done. We hear about him all goddamn day, every fucking day. Please, stop. Let James Austin Johnson do something else funny. Please.
The thing that I do continue to like about his take on Trump is he plays it like he's a comedian in the 80s who's like doing crowd work. And he's like, all right, what else? What else am I going to talk about? And the way that he packs so many pop culture references that have nothing to do with politics into his rants as Trump, I think James has found ways to make the writing of his sections still pretty good, usually.
I am not interested in splitting hairs on this sketch.
Is that like your safe word now?
Sure.
It's like I'm trying to sway you and you're like, I will not be swayed on this.
Well, I'm not going to say this was good, this was good, this was like, because it's a Trump sketch and I'm fucking sick of them, so I'm not going to participate in this bullshit.
This blitz is going great. I'm sick of them doing the same exact Trump sketch every time. I am aware and okay with James as Trump is going to be a fixture on the show as long as the man is our president. It is just how Saturday Night Live works.
I woke up and he was fucking alive still today. Do you know what a terrible day it is? Jesus.
We kind of talked about the monologue. We don't have to say much else about it. I was
decent monologue, horrible outfit.
Pleasantly surprised when his friends showed up.
Stupid bow tie thing was awful.
Oh,
and he had no belt.
The first thing I said when he walked out was, I like the tie.
That's the first thing I said when he walked out was, what the fuck is that terrible tie?
He's giving like a dude in touch with his femininity, and I love it.
He's giving a dude who hasn't finished getting dressed.
Return of Snack Homies.
The best thing I could have hoped for. Snack Homies is back, homies! I was excited about this. So Sabrina back in the shotgun seat for some Snack Homies is... I know. But this one goes to Jane for me. The way that they keep... I think it's Kyler or Tyler. The way they keep fucking with Jane's character all the time. They're always dogging on her and calling her Unc. And the way that she reacts to it is just...
And kind of throws into it.
Dude,
like, she is the one that's going to grow up to be gay.
Right. Like, she's so stunningly accurate, but so goddamn funny with the way she reacts is like, yo, chill. Like, bro. Like, she just like... It's just so funny.
I thought Finn was pretty good as the older teenager who still has all of the same fucking annoying like kid internet TikTok trend tropes that the younger ones do, but there was like an age dynamic going on here that I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That he's like embarrassed by them, but doing the exact same thing.
But like the real type of people that Finn was parodying are the worst people on earth to me that obsess about a square jaw or like cheekbones or some stupid shit like that. Also, built like the mom from The Incredibles is not an insult. That is high praise.
I think it
is.
Name
a hotter cartoon mom than Elastigirl.
Nobody's arguing with that. Nobody's. I think it's because like no 12-year-old boy wants a dump truck ass like Elastigirl. You want to be like skinny and starting in athletic and yeah, you're not worried about your ass velocity.
Say that to Big Dumper, bud.
Who is that?
He's a professional baseball player.
Okay, I will.
The who's on first moment with all the Gen Z slang was pretty good.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, like is he cooked or is he
no?
like
I'm
bad
pretty sure
or like?
I'm pretty sure they're cooked. No man, I'm talking like gas, like fire, bro.
That was
Like,
funny.
Are they chopped? No, I'm pretty sure they're chopped once in half. That was good.
On 3, who's your least favorite performer in Snack Homies? 1, 2, 3. Chloe Fineman.
And Chloe Fineman. Damn it, I didn't say it in time. Pirate's Booty is a platinum level snack.
I really like Veronica's. It is a good snack. I like Veronica's laugh when she's like,
Veronica's great in this. I love Veronica as Jason.
She's coming along very
Absolutely.
nicely. Okay.
I want one more thing in here.
Yeah, please.
After
ASAP
Sabrina
Rocky.
says, Unc is never beating the allegations, yo, they cut to just a shot of her and she does nothing. And the whole crowd laughs. It's hilarious. Like, it was funny.
Yeah.
Like, she did nothing. She just, like, blinked and, like, looked, and it was hilarious.
I'm glad you said something about Sabrina because we talked about it off pod, but her showing up for this is awesome.
It made the whole thing for me.
They probably could have done one of these without her if they absolutely had to.
I hope they never do.
And now I feel the exact same way. It
Yeah.
was a huge reveal when she showed up. She has become such a friend of the show.
She is one of those could be a cast member types.
And if they do this like a couple times a season for the next year or two, I think I'll be happy, especially if she shows up every time.
I'm always interested in snacks.
And something like this, I think, helps people like Jane that are a little bit on danger watch of people who are adding a lot to the show and showing up a lot on the show. This is something that isn't just her bit, that is recurring and does need her. And I think that's huge for her.
I think Jane started the year on a bit of a weird stumble or like a bit of a weird, but then has come on so strong. Jane's dark horse of the season so far.
Let's blitz faster. Heated Wizardry, Gay Harry Potter.
I loved this because it's a parody of a show that's created by Jacob Tierney, the other half of the co-creators of Letterkenny.
Oh, really?
Jared Kiso and
Created
Jacob Tierney.
Heated Rivalry?
Oh, but Jacob Tierney did Heated Rivalry, and Jacob Tierney plays the like the gay preacher in Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just about everybody in it was great. It was perfectly performed. Ben and JAJ had me just fucking rolling.
This sketch coming on the heels of, did you see the news that Cam Patterson made this week?
No.
There's a new like Killers of Kill Tony Netflix comedy special, and he's on it and he does material about SNL.
Yes, actually. So I did see the video of it, and I will speak about it when we get to Weekend Update. Sure.
Okay, I didn't see the video. I read the headlines that he called the show really gay and that he didn't really watch it before.
Yeah.
And then a sketch like this doesn't prove him wrong.
No.
It's pretty gay.
No, it doesn't. But the
I'm ready for us as a culture to move past Harry Potter parodies.
I'm ready for us as a culture to move past J.K. Rowling. Just all the way.
And that's
all
why.
The way.
And that's why. I mean, like, she created something that was important to so many children of a generation that will always be, and was for me, in my opinion, until she is no longer walking this earth. Other than maybe the movies, I feel like I cannot engage with that world. And I also have no interest to engage in that world.
Yeah.
So I like when they skewer it. Like, I liked when Bowen was Dobby, but I don't think we should let J.K. Rowling's world be this important in 2026 that we're doing sketches about it a couple times this season.
True. Let's blitz faster.
I know. I agree. I agree. Boy band, James Austin Johnson.
Yeah. I would say stupid, but unoffensive and not that bad.
Funny moments. I liked how everyone wanted to fuck Ashley as the. I was like,
Yeah, that was probably
nice.
the entire part of it. Like her reaction to every one of them too was perfect. Like,
thank you. Also, all of the boy band's names and personalities were fun.
Dead on.
Jeremy is just a low-key ringer. Like,
Jeremy's
I love Jeremy.
killing it this season, and also like I think Tommy will be the fall off of the features. Jeremy will be the promoted, and Veronica should be promoted.
And Ashley,
Padilla is already promoted, but not in name.
I have a feeling because Ashley and Jane started at the same time, if they both come back next year, they'll both be promoted.
That would be fine with me. It's just the only time we get to see Dismukes the whole episode.
Yeah, and he had that long hair.
Yeah.
I would have liked more Dismukes.
Sure.
Did you watch the musical performances?
Of course not.
Well, what I'll say for them is that they had very unique and interesting stage setups, and they kind of had like a music video thing. I don't want to spoil it in case you ever did go back and look at it, but the ending of his first song was really cool. And it featured Danny Elfman playing
cool.
the drums for him.
That's neat.
And Thundercat playing the bass. Do you know who that is? He's great.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy hip hop recorded between 1987 and 2010.
You don't like the new stuff.
Mostly no.
Okay.
I mean, Kendrick's pretty good, but like the heavy use of things like the like it's go home.
For
I
this
don't care.
did you listen to like 5 seconds of it?
Not
and
even
hear that?
no. We fast forward through all the musical stuff because I don't have to.
Okay. To an extent, this performance and his voice modulation and stuff, I think might have been the space. I haven't listened to the album.
I'm clearly not speaking about this performance. I'm talking about hip hop in general.
Yeah.
That's every song you hear
Mumbled
now. It's all,
voice mod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Who cares? It all sounds terrible. So then we get Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. This one, I don't know. What you got?
It was good. Cam Patterson, like, I don't know who Michael Irvin is, but when they would show the side-by-side of him with the real guy,
He really did.
It was a little funny.
As soon as I saw it, I said, "This is gonna suck," but he really does look like Michael Irvin.
I still don't love Cam's delivery all the time.
I didn't love his delivery, and after I watched that video, now I just don't like Cam. I don't like him. And anybody out there that wants to say, "Oh, I don't like him because of the race thing," go ahead. I don't give a shit. It's not true. What I don't like about him is that he's unappreciative. This is the pearls before swine that we talked about earlier in the season. This man is on an iconic staple show.
And it is okay to be like, I didn't grow up with this.
You didn't grow up with this, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But this was still here while you were growing up. This was doing all kinds of big famous things while you were growing up and you were on this planet. And this is an American institution, and you're on it and complaining about it. Like, do you know how many people would fucking kill their own children to be in the spot you're in?
Oh, yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here, you ungrateful little prick. You're not good enough to be this cocky.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck off my show.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't feel that strongly about it. I haven't watched the clip, but I do think Cam has been, for how much hubbub there was about this guy being added to this cast, what he has done to the show, what he has done on the show, feels much more like a featured player that everybody would forget the name of because he's almost never on the show, and does not feel like this guy who's a big deal and brought a lot of controversy around his casting and now outside of the show. So, like, I think Cam could still prove himself. He has a few episodes left to do it if he wants to, but I hope that they take a look at the end of the season and be like, we got a lot of attention because his name. Is what we're getting out of him being on the show worth it? Let's have that conversation. I think maybe he should not come back next year.
There have been plenty of black men on the show who have been hilarious and really, really good at it because they knew what they had.
I think part of it might be a little bit like he might even be a little too young for what he's trying to do here.
Cool.
To
Then
be
get
like
him
a
the fuck out
sketch
of there.
performer.
Then stop wasting space.
I really liked Jane Wickline as Tamara.
I don't watch TikTok, so I am to these
I didn't know
TikTok
this
things
lady.
like you are
I don't
to
know who
sports.
she is.
Like I knew Michael Irvin right away, but yeah,
I just found it was not the situation, it was the demeanor. Her being like that generation, like having these bold ideas and sharing them and shrinking as soon as you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, well, it doesn't have to mean anything. I came up with it and I'm committed to it and that's all that matters. Yeah, but like a button every day, that doesn't, it's just one button every day. I thought something about her demeanor of not being able to, kind of like me right now, not being able to hold up to pressure was fun.
you can't hold up to. Am I pressuring you? Do you feel tense today because I'm so revved up?
No.
Okay. Well, then we get Space Emperor. This one was good. We've talked about it a bunch of times today so far.
Not on camera. Really funny. I guess a little bit.
Servant played by Mikey Day can't stop feeding the Emperor, Finn Wolfhard, delightful snacks. This is the most Mikey Day sketch I've seen all season,
was
besides
so
maybe
funny.
Pinwheel.
Yeah.
You just watch this for 4 seconds and you're like, Jesus, this is Mikey.
His
He wrote this.
hairpiece.
Yeah.
This is really funny. And I even like the ending when Ben was like, I'll eat that, to the big hunk of whatever. Funniest part of this is like Finn failing to not break and eating all the food and then hitting like his Emperor smolder and going back to his like intimidation talk while he has chocolate syrup all over his face.
I think this sketch is in the vein of Scared Straight. I think where the premise of the humor or the crux of the humor lies in will they break or will they not break? Like it's almost like I dare you to try to not break in this sketch.
Yeah. I think those sketches where it's surrounded around feeding and the person is not in control of what is being put in their mouth, I think that is almost always funny.
Yeah.
Finally, we've got the Guys Girl sketch with Finn and Veronica. Not a great sketch, but I think Veronica and Finn did lift it.
I thought Veronica and Ben lifted it.
What did Ben do?
His lines were funny.
And the Free Solo sketch, I liked it in theory. I kept waiting for it to get, because it felt like Mikey was having trouble not breaking during
Yeah.
this one. And I never quite got why.
I just feel like Veronica's Guy's Girl is an extension of Kyle Mooney's Bruce Chandling comedian character. She's like a spin-off sequel of it or something.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
It's just like a bad comedian. But yeah, Free Solo didn't really hit me too hard. It was not great. It wasn't bad. It had the right amount of Keenan. I love the concept. The guy that they're referencing is actually from Sacramento, and he has a wife and 2 kids, so why he does this shit is absolutely fucking beyond me.
I know the Free Solo guy, and I did like the visual of green screen Keenan Thompson walking up the side of the building.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't know, I'm just going to do it too.
Yeah.
This was the one where I thought Finn was a little bit miscast. I think someone else would have been funnier as
Same.
the friend of Reggie.
Same.
Even Cam. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been not just because they're both black, but I think Cam could have played into that section well. I think
Yeah.
Tommy would have been good there.
The delivery that Finn was
Jeremy
giving,
would have been great
It
there.
wasn't great. It was, especially when you put it against, was it Ashley the wife?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No. Sarah was the wife.
Sarah was the wife. So like, they would do his side and then they would do the other side, and it was in comparison, it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
Well, that I think qualifies as a blitz.
It's a blitz.
Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down on Finn Wolfhard episode.
Thumbs up.
Not the host, the episode.
Pretty good.
I thought it was a pretty good episode too. A lot of great cameos. Jason Momoa in the was he in the Harry Potter sketch?
That was a great cameo as Hagrid.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's get into what we're really here for. We're talking about the Paul Simon George Harrison episode. What a fucking duo to have on the show in 1976. This episode from November 20th, 1976. What else was on that night?
CBS put on Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Bob Newhart Show, All in the Family, Alice, and The Carol Burnett Show. ABC aired Holmes and Yo-Yo, What's Happening, Starsky and Hutch, and Most Wanted. Our home network, NBC, aired Emergency!
Yes.
And the 1971 film Billy Jack.
Not to be confused with Billy Paul.
Or Jack, which is a 90s film featuring
Robin Williams, where he's an adult baby.
Yeah. The number one film at the box office was 2 Minute Warning, an action thriller film starring Charlton Heston about a planned massive killing spree in a football stadium. It's a good name for it then, damn. The number one album on the Billboard chart was still Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder.
The episode opens with a bumper of Don Pardo announcing to us that some of tonight's episode was pre-recorded.
But his voice was live,
yes.
as said the text.
And the audience laughs like it's a joke. Other than this moment in the beginning, it's not easy to tell when things are live and are not live other than this monologue, the cold open we're about to talk about.
I think I agree with you, yes.
Much better than the Carly Simon one where it like cut away to something completely different and then came back. It felt like everything continued to flow.
The cold open was Paul Simon's monologue worries. Paul Simon arrives at 30 Rock before the show feeling worried about performing his monologue and says so to hanger-on Chevy Chase, who's playing guitar outside the lobby. Upstairs, Lorne Michaels haggles with George Harrison, who thinks he should be getting his share of the money offered to the Beatles for agreeing to be on as tonight's musical guest. This was a really humorous use of Chevy Chase.
Yeah, but I'm ready for him to stop showing up.
I'll probably be back and forth. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's funny. He's got a lot of offers. He's working hard, but really he's panhandling for money outside 30 Rock playing songs like Do You Know the Way to San Jose?
I even like the way that Chevy threw himself into this character version of himself.
Yeah.
It took him not being here for me to tolerate him being here.
It's also very Chevy that he immediately was like, but what can I do?
Right. But it's also kind of pathetic. Like, he made such a big deal about being too big for the show and moving on from it, and then like since then he basically hasn't stopped coming back to it.
Yeah.
There's a situation that this reminds me of, but
I mean, how much of the documentary that we watched was focused on a year of his life that he spent at SNL?
Right.
Paul leaves a nickel for Chevy and says hi to him. They have a little moment, and then Paul invites him to the after party. Paul Simon does this really awkward okay as he like saunters off.
Right.
Like, what is he doing?
Why don't you come to the party after the show?
The party? I'd love to do that, man. If I'm finished with my work, I'll be there.
Everyone would love to see you.
Well, but
They would love to see you again. Okay.
Beautiful.
See you later.
Okay, beautiful. Do you know?
What about the George Harrison and Lauren bit? How did you feel?
I really loved it because I like the way that Lauren plays it to sound like an actual conversation rather than a scripted one. And I think the math of the bit is great. Just the math of the humor and the actual math of, well, you know, it was $3,000 for 4 people, but that should be $750 for you.
$750, pretty chintzy,
Yeah,
huh?
when he calls NPC chintzy, I was like, yes, that's hilarious.
I'm going to be such a blubbering fangirl this whole episode. I just think George Harrison is so cool. I think he's so awesome. And he's barely trying here. He's just there talking like a normal guy. And I'm just like locked in and being like, oh my God.
I think his friendship,
George Harrison is here.
I think his friendship with Eric Idle means that he's got a little bit of a sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely. He has a huge sense of humor.
He knows where it plays.
It must be. See, I thought that you would understand that if it was, $3,000 for 4 people, then it would just be $750 for as far as I'm concerned, you could have the full $3,000. It's the network.
Pretty chintzy.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know that there's another $250 available for the opening. The person who says live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
I love that George Harrison says the opening line this week.
Is he the first person that's not a cast member to get to say it?
Gerald Ford.
Okay, you're right.
But he might be the first person. No, that would also be Gerald Ford, who doesn't say it live because this would have been pre-recorded.
True story.
I also, watching this showed me like Lorne today, how we got there, how comfortable he is at this point in his career, just like haggling with George Harrison on camera and talking to Paul Simon. If anything, Lorne seems less nervous in this opening than in other moments that he's had on the show.
Sketches where he definitely had that weird nervous energy that performers that don't perform very often get, but not here. No, he played it great.
I thought it was good.
Same.
Then we get our host, our monologue. Our host is Paul Simon. Technically, this is the Paul Simon, George Harrison episode, but this is more like another Paul Simon double duty episode that features performances by George Harrison.
If I'm correctly mistaken, I think they both get equal songs. So they do a couple together, but then
I think Paul does more. Well,
Paul does a couple live, and then George has a couple videos.
Yeah. So yeah. Interesting. It is fairly even, but it feels more like a Paul Simon episode than a George Harrison episode. Paul Simon, a 35-year-old at this time, singer-songwriter and guitarist from Newark, New Jersey, as he makes reference to later in the episode on the Tomorrow sketch.
Yep.
He's known for solo work and, of course, his collaborations with Art Garfunkel. This is his second time hosting SNL. And in 1976, Simon was putting together a benefit show at Madison Square Garden for the New York Public Library that raised over $30,000. He didn't put out an album this year. I think this Madison Square Garden concert was a big part of why he came back to SNL to help promote that event.
Okay.
And then today, Paul Simon's still with us. He's 84 years old. We know Paul Simon. We love him. He's that white guy with all the stees.
Yep.
And he's still great. In his monologue, Paul Simon feels ridiculous for agreeing to sing Still Crazy after all these years while wearing a turkey costume.
Dude, what a great juxtaposition. And I love me a good juxtaposition. Having the memories of Paul's first episode, this played so perfectly.
This was the cold open, right? This is how the episode started?
Yeah, this is, but not in a turkey costume. He was just
obviously
doing crazy after all these years. He just plays along with the joke by being the joke, but still feigns being upset about it so perfectly.
And building us up, like knowing he's, this would have been funny if it just started this way.
Right.
But it's funnier with the pre-monologue.
Oh, yeah. The little seeds that he plants.
And even like he comes out in the turkey outfit, and that's funny enough. And then as soon as the piano starts hitting the opening chord to Still Crazy, he pulls out the I got this old lover. I'm like, oh my God.
He sounds really good.
He sounds really good.
And he looks
but his
really
face
ridiculous.
Looks really upset. Also, Paul Simon, who is known to be kind of a cantankerous asshole sometimes. Back in the 70s, back in these episodes, even when he's playing angry, he still comes off so like cool as a cucumber. It happens a few times in this episode, and it's interesting to watch. I like seeing him play angry. It's fun.
You can tell that he came to play this time, and not just instruments. I loved this monologue. I love how they ended it too.
There's a very good chance that I look stupid. It doesn't mix with his image, his lyrics, or his songs. But everyone's like, why do you take yourself so seriously? And Paul Simon here, he is an artist that takes himself that seriously.
Yeah.
He's made enough friends with these funny people that he's willing to like take a step back from that.
I can't fit through the door.
Yeah, when he storms off the stage and Lauren's like, okay, I'm coming. As Lauren, so he runs off stage and he's like throwing a tantrum, and Lauren, as if he doesn't even realize what's just happened, that he stormed off stage. He's just like applauding and smiling. That was great. He did 2 lines of the song.
That was wonderful.
This is a really good bit. This past year, I watched the SNL Thanksgiving compilation special, and this was the monologue that they used.
Good. I'm glad.
It's not only a really funny moment for Paul Simon, for Lorne Michaels, it is one of the most iconic Thanksgiving moments of the series.
Yeah. You know what it needs? A Thanksgiving song.
You know, I also like, speaking of Rick and Morty, before we started recording, Paul Simon references the actor Jan Michael Vincent, who I only know who that is because he's referenced on Rick and Morty.
Interesting.
Do you know who that is?
I do not.
He's kind of like a Jean-Claude Van Damme earlier like action star that didn't get quite that big, but like you would go see a movie because it was Jan Michael Vincent is.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, then we get a pre-tape.
Yep.
You're going to take it.
It's Quarry, the all-rock cereal that's chock full of minerals. 12 out of 10 crunch.
This might be my favorite pre-tape yet.
It's a pretty good pre-tape. The build-up theme song, which had to have been written that week, is probably the closest, or the thing that O'Donoghue's ever going to get to a hit.
It had me Googling if they were using a real breakfast theme, because it's not until the ending segment when they start talking about rocks that made it clear.
Right. It does feel like one of those lame 70s family shows themes, though.
Yeah, it's a cereal commercial, and the cereal is 100% Pebbles and Rocks, and Jane is the mother, and we have like faceless actors playing the husband and the children, and there's something like Tim and Eric early-esque about this of cutting to shots of like people crunching with this awful, horrible noise playing.
It's wretched.
That just gets louder and louder till the point at the end when we get back to the commercial, you can't hear the tagline because everybody's crunching on their quarry.
Out here on a farm, breakfast is our most important meal. That's why we start each day the natural way, with a big brimming bowl of quarry. Quarry contains no preservatives, no additives, no artificial flavoring, and it's made without the use of pesticides or inorganic fertilizer. Because quarry isn't grown, it's mined. Here's a ready-to-eat cereal that's pure 100% rocks and pebbles, with a hearty old-fashioned flavor the whole family will enjoy.
It is uncomfortable to watch, but it's the type of uncomfortable and this clever sound design and this clever editing that really had me. I think this is great.
It was a pretty funny pre-tape. I really enjoyed it. I was just a little confused at Jane being the only cast member used here. They could have at least given her husband somewhere in a closer age range.
Maybe they still have the mentality of trying to keep it somewhat recognizable as an actual commercial. But I mean, Jane
she was
is
like the star of it and like the first thing seen that was a human. So
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Well,
I'm tense. I'm tense.
I want you to say that we get a bumper.
Yeah. I just, again, Quarry, amazing.
Yeah, Quarry was short, sweet, and great.
I don't have more to say about it, but I loved it so much that I want to put a big gay stamp of approval.
It wasn't gay.
No, but I am.
Yeah, but that's not what the gay stamp of approval's for.
Oh, so now the cis straight man is explaining to me what a gay seal approval means.
Boy, you're quick. Do you do Model UN?
No.
Okay.
Is it too late?
Nope.
I just thought this was a great sketch. Watching people sprinkle sugar on their rocks to eat it and pouring extra milk over it. It was disgusting. It was grotesque. It was hard to listen to. And it was exactly my style of humor.
He didn't have anything more to say about it, folks. Then we get a bumper. It's a woman in the crowd who is a confused Garfunkel groupie. This was a great bumper for this.
It's a good
episode.
one.
I liked it.
I mean, he showed up last time.
Yep. After this, ladies and gentlemen, we get Paul Simon performs 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover from his 1975 album, Still Crazy, after all these years.
I got to say, I do not think we list 50 ways.
Not even a little bit.
There's like 5 or 6 ways.
A little bit, but not enough.
She said it's really not my habit to intrude. Furthermore, I hope my meaning won't be lost or misconstrued. So I'll repeat myself. At the risk of being crude, there must be 50 ways to leave your lover. 50 ways to leave your lover. You just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. Don't need to be coy, Roy. Just listen to me. Hop on the bus, Gus. No need to discuss much. Just drop off the key and get yourself free.
This is such a good song.
He said there must be 50 ways to leave
Okay,
your lover.
there's got to be.
But I also like this song, and I'm glad he chose to do this one.
It's a great song. As soon as like the opening drum fill hits, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton to say about some of these musical performances because these are songs that I just know so well.
Right.
And Paul Simon is such a professional that listening to him perform these songs sounds as good as listening to the studio version.
It does.
Which is a massive testament to the performer. Like his
Right.
voice and his guitar playing is so crystal fucking clear.
Because he understands the space he's in every time he's in a space. He understands how to make his voice work in that space, and I think that's part of his reputation as a bit of a tough guy to work with when he is performing.
Yeah.
Is because he's so precise and controlling, and he likes things to be right. I love this song because it's a really unique groove and melody with two distinctly different tones that come together to make a great track.
It's got that slow verse.
The verse is so ominous and dark with there's minor chords,
And
it
the chorus is peppy.
Yeah, the chorus is just like upbeat and so unbelievably catchy and fun to sing. There's nothing fancy on drums. It's just fundamentals done right. Like, I love it.
Paul Simon, and kind of to go back to Michael Jackson, he's such like a song first guy.
Mm-hmm.
And everything he does, including his voice as an instrument, is to serve the song. And he's not like, I'm the best singer in the world. Come watch me sing. Watch me. Even though he is that good.
He's a good singer.
He tunes his voice to do justice to the song that he's performing for everybody. And
A+.
Really good performance. Even better song. Live sketch, Baba Wawa at Large. I'm interested to talk about this one. Henry Kissinger, played by John Belushi, discusses his career with Baba Wawa, of course, played by Gilda Radner. Gunswinger. A Lone Wanger.
Yeah, one Wanger.
One Wanger.
I don't know, man. The writing on this one was very fun. I think they did a great job of making Gilda use so many R words. Not that one.
No.
But the German accent to mask the Jewishness joke was a bit weird for me. And then, I don't know, it was just a middle-of-the-road Baba Wawa sketch to me. I don't actually have a lot to say about this one, so go ahead.
Did you notice, like, John's energy in this sketch?
Not even a little bit, no.
At first, I thought he was just... I think you should go back and watch it for this reason. At first, I thought... Not right now. At first, I thought he was just, like, off and maybe, like... Obviously, my mind always goes to drugs. But the more I watched it, the more I think John is in a sketch that he does not think is funny.
Oh.
And he is like barely delivering his lines, almost through like gritted teeth to me, it feels.
Okay.
I feel like John Belushi doesn't think Baba Wawa is funny and doesn't think being part of this is that funny.
Now that
is like half-assing the impression when he's done it really not like well as an impression.
I mean,
but
he's
committed to it way more every other time he's done it, to the point when he's like, when he does that line about like, she says, what was the lowest part of your career? He's like, 73. When he just kind of like makes it through these lines, and it's like he's barely trying. And I think he doesn't think it's funny.
Now that I think about it, I can't remember Belushi in a Baba Wawa sketch before this.
No.
So I think there's something to that.
I think you should take a look at it later if you feel like it. He felt like uncomfortable and not in a fucked up way, in a like, because also like John Belushi, there are things to read about him thinking women are not funny.
Right.
So I could see John Belushi being like, a woman doing a silly voice. What's so funny about that? Obviously, we think Gilda's hilarious, so it makes something that is just someone doing a silly voice pretty funny a lot of the time. But I think John, that's my opinion. I think John did not want to be in the sketch.
I think there are funny women.
Can you say I'm a really, really fat, roly-poly diplomat?
No.
Do you have any final words for the American people?
No. You can ask me that at the end of the episode.
Okay.
But I'll have a different answer.
You will then.
I have a different answer then.
Bumper?
Yeah, we get Edie Amin sings Cole Porter.
Garrett could do that.
He could, but more Edie Amin. Like, it's like they've picked like 5 people to talk about, and they just don't have anybody else.
There's more of him later. We talk about him later.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like, why? Why can't we ever make jokes about other people?
I think this show now really loves its callbacks and recurring jokes and like inside jokes.
Right.
SNL doesn't do that in the same way anymore, other than like recurring sketches and sometimes like Weekend Update. It rewards you for watching all of these episodes to the point where you're like, do you know any other famous people?
Yeah, I guess. It's a bit circle jerky. I mean, it's kind of akin to like putting an inside joke on the back of a hoodie. I don't like it. Well, then we get a live sketch. It's the Twilight Zone. Rod Sterling, played by Dan Aykroyd, traps 3 would-be Hollywood starlets in a motel room.
Meet Betty Martin, age 27, a struggling actress working as a model. Told to meet a certain producer by her agent, Peggy has just checked into room 16 of the Blaine Motel. A motel where there are no checkout times, no room service, and for some reason, no sinks. She's just gotten a room reserved for guests of the Twilight Zone.
Dan Aykroyd.
His mouth movements on this are unreal.
The voice
I've
is
never
perfect.
watched The Twilight Zone, so I don't know if this is a great parody or just something he's doing to give it a little flavor and nuance because he's brilliant. But the stupid smile, as soon as the camera fades from him, like the camera was on him for about 4 seconds and he didn't move, and then as the picture is fading out, he just flashes this stupid cheesy smile. Whole crowd loves
I
it.
love those moments when Dan is like,
how do I fill this silence?
the camera's on me longer than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna do like a "you got me"
Yep.
kind of smile. I love it.
He does it all the time.
I haven't seen a ton of Twilight Zone, but I've seen enough genre parodies of it to get a feel for it. And I do think they create the space really well. I think Dan Aykroyd is a perfect Rod Sterling. His voice is amazing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't know
so
enough
much
about Rod Sterling to know
how he looks and if like Dan is acting in a way that looks like him, but the voice was spot on.
Well, because the voice, even if you didn't see Dan doing what he's doing, you can tell that he's like moving his mouth in a really deliberate,
it's a really good Rod Sterling
exaggerated
voice.
way.
Yep.
So that's what
he does that. I can't do it, but the like, imagine a young girl. She is walking into the
He like pulls his lips away from his teeth way more than he needs to after every syllable. It's weird.
Now the sketch I think needed a much better idea than what we have here.
Yeah,
because it doesn't even really, I don't think, fully turn into a joke on Rod Sterling being a creep that's luring all of these girls to a hotel room to fuck them all. Instead, they kind of make it seem like he's just made a bunch of appointments for himself and forgotten. So then he gets back and doesn't realize what. I don't know. I don't get the angle. And the Twilight Zone are always, it's like Black Mirror. It's like a parable that is spooky that is going to teach you a lesson at the end. I don't think that this is that very well at all. I even Googled the word Twilight spelled the way that they spell it here to see if that was referencing something. I couldn't find anything. The sketches this week are kind of a bummer, and we've been saying that a lot lately.
Same.
And this one, if they had like a better Twilight Zone-ish concept story, now it doesn't have to be a full story, but like a story in mind, it would have been better because they had all the trappings. They had the visuals, they had the opening, they had the music, and they definitely had the Rod Sterling.
Yeah, and then they just like ran out of things, and we're like, I don't know, that'll probably be enough.
I hope they do this again.
Yeah.
Because I think they can do better.
It's like when you're playing euchre and you decide to call it on like 2 cards. I know you know that means, so.
I liked the reference to the Blaine Motel. The hotel that they're checking in, and the line in the beginning, they check into the Blaine Hotel, no checkout time, no room service, and for some reason, no sinks. I thought that was pretty funny.
There aren't any sinks. I loved all the terrible zoom ins every time the doorknob was supposed to be turning, but it was just like not turning.
I love when Lorraine gets to play these like unsettled, scared kind of characters. She does this thing with her face and like places her hand. She like looks just like a 1960s like horror movie star. Like she could be in Psycho opposite Anthony Perkins. And this sketch kind of reminded me a little bit of that Anthony Perkins sketch where it was all of the low budget Psycho sequels.
Right.
Down to the point of like, I like the idea a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think the sketch works.
It didn't really like, and oh look, Garrett's playing a character in a service capacity. Never saw that coming.
Champagne, courtesy of Mr. Sterling.
It is one of those rare sketches though where I can almost see the ending coming from about halfway in, but it's such a natural progression that I don't mind. Like it doesn't end terribly. It ends it ends just like it should have, but there just wasn't
without
much,
a joke.
Yeah, there just wasn't much to it.
I think it needed a big joke. Most of these sketches, they need a big joke at the end to really sing. But Dan just like walking from his ethereal plane into the hotel room off camera was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's next?
A bumper.
Yeah. Which one?
A man in the audience thought this was a peer group.
It's so accurate that he actually seems like he didn't really like this at all.
Is it not? I think I see him go like to the woman next to him, if this is the one I'm thinking of, where he's like, oh my God, they're zooming in on you. And then they zoom in on him. He's like,
oh yeah,
I guess I'm on camera now. And he just keeps clapping and smiling.
Well, Hawkeye me, while they are zooming in on him.
Is that in this one?
I spotted Jodie Foster in front of this dude that they zoomed in on. She will be our host next week. And she's 14 years old at this time. She's there because she's a fan of Paul Simon and George Harrison.
That's really cool.
It's fucking wild.
And that's a really good pull because I'm not scouring the audience for celebrities, which is something that happens on the show a lot.
It was a 2-second shot.
Yeah.
It was like a boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I in the hat, and I was like, wait, hang on.
Good catch.
Yeah.
You were so excited about that was the first thing you said to me when I got in the building
It's
today.
one of those things where you always think you see somebody, but like the bigger part of your mind convinces you that you're just being weird about it. And then when you find out you're right, you're like, oh, fuck. Well, after that, valid vindication. After that, we get a Garrett Morris announcing next week's show.
Except no, we don't. It wasn't in our cut, but the SNL wiki says that was a part of this episode.
Cool. Well, then we get Weekend Update with Jane Curtin, which actually this week it's Weekend Update on season 2 did better for me than season 51.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just because like the best part of this week's season 51 episode of Weekend Update was the 2 seconds in between jokes that Colin and Che were reacting to the crowd, reacting to the other person's joke. There really wasn't a lot of good stuff in this one for me. Anyway, Weekend Update with Jane Curtin. She starts the top of the news hour by taking her birth control and then putting it under the counter and then realizing that we saw her take her birth control, which leads into a story of the results of a study on contraception, which is a wonderful lead-in from her opening bit.
A long-term study of contraception has resulted in a highly favorable evaluation of the diaphragm, as opposed to the oral contraceptive pill, which has had controversies over its side effects. The major complaint about the diaphragm compared to the pill is that the diaphragm is much harder to swallow.
Fact. Great
That's a funny joke.
Great reversal joke, and the way
and
that
great setup to it.
The way that she reacts to it when she's like, when she's reading that the results of the study are that birth control pills are not actually as effective. And she like was
just took it.
like she just took it, and she's like, oh no.
They're doing some cool stuff of noting that we now have a female anchor without feeling like it's ladies' weekend update.
Right.
You know?
Or like the Avengers Endgame scene where we got to have girl power.
Never seen it.
Cool. Well, then we get Patty Hearst's release from jail and plans with her ex-fiance. I didn't understand what the California budget had to do.
I was going to ask the same thing. Something about the Hearst fortune not paying for her bail, but the California budget is balanced for the first time in a long time.
So
her family must have ties to that.
Yeah, just from that feels like there's some sort of backdoor political donation joke that
and
I don't
then
care
the
about.
thing about her ex-fiance, that was just a miss too. I think the way that they're referencing the Patty Hearst trial is usually in pretty bad taste.
Mm-hmm. Next, she does a joke on Jimmy Carter's campaign spending. It's a picture joke, and it's a good one.
Yeah, the turn of this is him begging on the street.
It's a picture of him drinking coffee. He's got a little tiny coffee mug.
That kind of looks like he's panhandling.
A little bit, but not really. Then we get Ronald Reagan's thoughts on the survival of the Republican Party.
They need to change their name if they're going to survive in the two-party system.
Jesus, this could not be more relevant.
And then all of the suggested names are like bleeped out obscenities and then the Supremes.
The two-party system is as useful as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Uh-huh.
The Republican Party needs a bullet in the head or at least a high school education.
Though,
besides a new name, yeah.
You just reminded me of the sketch that was Dudley Moore and Peter Cook when he didn't have any arms or something.
I love that episode.
Sorry, that's just what that reminded me of.
Yeah. Then we get a dive into the Bermuda Triangle, which is not only a pretty fun wordplay joke, but also a pretty fun picture joke.
It's stupid in a good way.
Yeah, they have the Bermuda Triangle on the screen, on the projector. It's a map, obviously, but then they zoom out on the map. And the map is actually just a pair of Bermuda shorts with the triangle where the crotch should be.
And you see like the drawstrings and everything.
It's pretty good. And then they make jokes
stupid,
about all the fish
funny.
wearing knee-high socks because when you wear Bermuda shorts, you wear knee-high white socks.
Or at least you did in 1976.
For sure. The relationship between the leaders of Yugoslavia and the Soviet Republic.
It's a solid picture joke that implies they're about to passionately kiss each other with their eyes open or closed.
Closed.
That's the way to do it.
Gay stamp of approval?
Kissing with your eyes closed or implying that these two men are kissing each other?
Yeah.
To me, even though it's implying gay kiss, this is like not gay commentary.
Cool.
There's no issue.
Well, then we get pornographic actor Harry Reams' fundraising party for his legal defense.
Actor Harry Reams, the largest member of the cast of Deep Throat, attended a star-studded party to raise money for his legal defense fund. It was there that the actor unveiled a new Harry Reams cocktail, which, although it contains no beer, still has a head. It's my job, Mom. I'm sorry.
I really like Jane's reaction of, I'm sorry, Mom, it's my job. I think they could have picked a better joke for her to have that type of reaction to, because it's like he's serving a cocktail and there's a head but no beer.
Right.
And it's like kind of a head joke, but it's not. It's even a little bit of a head scratcher of like, what pornographic thing are they actually implying?
It's a shaft and head is what they're implying. Herbert John Stryker, better known by his professional pseudonym Harry Reams, was an American pornographic actor, most famous for his roles as Dr. Young in the 1972 pornographic cult classic Deep Throat,
which
we deep dove,
big fan,
and The Teacher in the 1973 classic The Devil and Miss Jones.
Okay.
Throughout the 1970s and into the mid-1980s, he was one of the most prolific performers in the adult film industry. He became the first American actor to be prosecuted solely for appearing in a film. He retired from the industry in 1985, the year of our Lord that delivered your boy.
Wait, tell me the persecution part again. So he got in trouble because he was in porn?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
I did not deep dive that.
Okay.
I just had that
That's
sentence.
interesting.
Yeah, then Jane cracks the penis joke and then apologizes to her mom. I thought that was cute.
Funny. Well, then we have our correspondent, Lorraine Newman, this week. Lorraine is going to report on Nazis integrating into society from sleepy Mineola, Long Island, or Minola.
Another one that's super relevant today.
I know, dude.
God damn.
I am assuming, because the audience reacts immediately to this, and I think maybe there is some historical context that I don't have for like something going on in New York at this time.
Likely.
Because it feels like they're in like a Jewish deli in New York.
Yep, and there's no cast member besides Lorraine.
No.
She's not interacting with anyone. She's not
it feels like a
interviewing
live
anybody.
set, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It doesn't feel like she's in front of a blue screen.
There's a bunch of guys in the back wearing full get-ups, the boots, the red armbands, the hats. I don't know. All the Nazi referencing just feels relevant today with the rise of the Republican Nazi Party.
Man, the line in this that will just always work, and it's delivered with a wink, but people today would say this without one.
They see no reason to deport Maikovskis, nor any of the other Nazis who came here after World War II. To local residents, Nazis are like any other minority group who fled to this country to escape persecution. Only in America, Jane, the melting pot of the world.
It's the tolerance paradox. The only thing that you're allowed to be intolerant of is intolerance.
Yeah.
And Nazis are intolerant.
Yes.
So we cannot tolerate them.
Yeah.
We must eradicate the eradicators. Does that make us Nazis? It doesn't. It means that without that step, they will eradicate everyone.
Yeah.
That is not them.
I agree. And I think this sketch, like, it doesn't make a point like that, but I think they're definitely holding up a mirror to
the Republican Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on Nazis?
They're Republicans.
Mineola, Long Island. Not all Republicans are Nazis, but most Republicans are Nazi-esque. Or at least willing to look the other way to acts of fascism.
Can I tell you something?
That makes them a Nazi.
If you're at a party and there's 10 people and one of them is a Nazi and no one kicks them out,
you're all Nazis.
You're at
It's a Nazi party.
Yeah. So this just in,
Does that mean I have to let this guy that's been watching this whole time go? He's been freaking me out, but I don't want us to think that this is a Nazi party just because the Nazi listens to us record.
Yeah, come on, guys. This just in, a death row inmate in Utah wins the state lottery.
Gary Gilmore, did you dive onto him at all?
I didn't. Is this what actually happened?
So Gary Gilmore was a murderer. He didn't win the state lottery, but he went to jail for murder, and he was it was around the time when like the death sentence went away and was coming back, and he was advocating for the death sentence for himself. He attempted suicide a few times, and he would like speak up in court of like, I should get the death sentence and I want it faster. So the idea that now he's also won the lottery and he gets $50,000 a year when he wants to die like yesterday. It's a dark joke.
I think,
but the man's a murderer.
$50,000 a year for life is a great joke about someone on death row.
Yeah.
It was dark, but it was funny. Morris the cat's suicide attempt in response to the death of Smokey the bear. It's a callback to last week. The quote got me pretty good.
There was a near tragedy this week when popular TV personality Morris the cat attempted suicide. Despondent over the death of a close friend, spoke Smokey the bear. Morris, in an act of sympathy, chose to call it quits himself, leaving behind a note which read simply, meow, 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 end quote. Because Morris had 9 lives, he tried to end them all by hanging himself, slitting his wrists, sticking his head in an oven, mixing alcohol with sleeping pills, throwing himself in front of a train, bringing a radio into the bathtub with him, shooting himself, and sitting in a car with the motor running in his garage. Morris now resting comfortably at Bidawee Hospital, depressed that he could only think of 8 ways to kill himself.
Oh, and what do you know? It's a morbid list of ways to commit suicide. I wonder who could have been capable of such writing.
It is fun to hear Jane sing the little bit of the Meow Mix thing and then to cut herself off. Even without the dark, like the suicide thing is so darkly unfunny that this time, like I didn't exactly laugh, but I can see the humor in it.
It's a list of morbid things.
It's
his one
very
trick.
dark.
It's
it
his
is
one
very
trick.
dark.
And it's not even a good trick.
And the Smokey the Bear stuff last week was funny. I don't think I needed a sequel to it, was my main feeling of like, this is like callbacks. When you start doing callbacks to things you did last week, it feels less like a callback and more like a repeat.
Okay. Well, then we get how the audience can help.
Because the audience is going to send in ideas for the 9th way for Morris to kill himself via Kill Morris, courtesy of 30 Rock.
Neat. The first anniversary of Generalissimo Francisco Franco's death. It's a great callback joke that
ties into the 50th anniversary of NBC joke.
I like when they do a callback to a joke that they just made a few seconds ago. Like
and
it's funny. It's a funny callback.
They list something, they make you forget about it for a second, and then they repeat the list, and it's always funnier the second time.
Yeah.
The company has been receiving gifts all week, including best wishes from competing networks, CBS and ABC, who sent them Dawn, Doc, Mr. T and Tina, and a homesick Barbara Walters. And in still another celebration, today marks the first anniversary of the so-called death of Generalissimo Francisco Franco. He, too, has been receiving gifts from all over the world, including dead flowers from Argentina, a candygram from Mao Zedong, and recently acquired Dawn, Doc, Mr. T and Tina, as well as a homesick Barbara Walters from the National Broadcasting Company.
Now that we do the also on that night, I am a 28-year-old for a few more days in Indiana in 2026, like laughing at references to Mr. T and Tina and Doc and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did throw some of the lineups in there. That was and the homesick Baba Wawa. And we also got a new strain of gonorrhea.
Yep,
which could be a VD Amin joke.
EDVD has been spreading his love stateside.
What we got next?
That leads us into our next correspondent. It's science editor Dr. Garrett Morris. I love that he's just Dr. Garrett Morris. It's very funny.
He gets to play an academic.
Which is great.
Praise be.
Honestly. He gets to explain what makes this new strain of gonorrhea so unusual. It's a fun bit where he looks at a sample in a microscope and what we see is like old war cartoons through the angle of the microscope, showing like how penicillin works and how the new gonorrhea fights against it. I thought it was kind of clever.
It was clever and kind of funny because in the interviews that I've listened to with Garrett Morris, he talks about how in those days he loved cocaine and sex workers.
So when she says at the end, and how did you get this sample of gonorrhea? Loretta. And just saying the word, and that is a really funny delivery. He could have said Loretta. That is a really funny delivery of that line. It really sells that joke in just one word. It's pretty cool.
And because he's like in pain when he's saying it too. Well, then we're back to Jane Curtin. Finally, a mushroom cloud is on its way to NYC and is expected to improve the weather.
Yeah.
It's a joke about bad weather in the Big Apple.
But there's radioactive fallout from an explosion. Was it in Japan? And the mushroom cloud is finally hitting, and it's going to help clear the pollution.
Clear the skies and pollution, yes.
Well, after that, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Simon and George Harrison are going to perform Here Comes the Sun.
Do you need a Kleenex?
Because I'm going to cry.
Or something else.
Do I have a boogie?
No.
Why do I need a Kleenex? Am I going to masturbate because it's George Harrison and I'm going to like circle jerk this performance? Are you not going to circle jerk this performance?
No, this performance was awesome.
You
just said you were going to fanboy the whole time, so I just made sure.
Do all fanboys just masturbate? Is that what they do?
I mean, who doesn't?
Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright.
I think this is going to go down as two of my favorite songs performed on SNL, period, forever and ever and ever.
Okay.
First of all, we'll start with Here Comes the Sun. George Harrison for a lot. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about George Harrison. George Harrison's 33 at this time. The Beatles have been broken up for 6 years. Weirdly, and this feels so different from how things work now, at 33, George Harrison was starting to feel kind of like a yesteryear, washed up, not has been, but like of a different time kind of act. And for a while, he didn't play his Beatles songs.
Right.
During the like Dark Horse era, he didn't want to play Beatles songs. So to have him come to the show, not live, and you can't really tell it's not live, and perform Here Comes the Sun with Paul Simon, and having Paul Simon's sweet tenor voice do the melody in certain verses and all of the times that they back up each other with their harmony, then hearing George sing the lower harmony on his own song when Paul takes a verse, all while George's guitar playing is just so effortlessly studio perfect. Just, my God, a perfect performance of one of the greatest pop songs of all time.
And according to our friend over at Ian Talks Comedy, this was pre-recorded on Thursday in front of a bunch of randos from the street, homeless people, pages, crew, like the incredible setting to see one of the most famous songs ever performed on SNL. Like this is crazy.
With backup by Paul Simon.
I think Paul is obviously a rock star in his own right and being one of the most popular in the world when he was with Garfunkel. But even he had to be a little nervous to do an iconic Beatles song with the Beatle that wrote it. Like that's wild.
There's got to be a mix of nerves and a mix of like
pride, maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
Of I've made it. This guy is now my friend and equal, and we get to play together. Yeah, I bet I'd be nervous the first time walking into a rehearsal space with George Harrison to learn who's gonna do what on the song that you've perfected.
I think he performed it beautifully. He stayed true to the song while still sounding like he wasn't trying to mimic any of the Beatles, which is important.
Yeah.
He was still being Paul Simon, and he clearly knows the song as well as he knows any of his own. It also looked effortless from him. It was a great performance. I really liked this one.
You gotta love the part in Here Comes the Sun when they hit the doo-doo-doo-doo. It's perfect every time.
It is.
And I'm sure
it is to this song what is to the next one.
Oh, yeah. But even more, like 100 times more so.
I don't know, 100 times. But I'd say 10 times more.
Sure. Now, I wonder if Eric Idle had any thoughts on this performance and specifically where they placed it in the show.
It should have been toward the end.
They should have saved it to the end. A song with that kind of levity.
That's kind of meaning and, like depth, that they need that at the end.
And it made me chuckle a little bit. This performance did not bring me to tears, but it was like, wow, this is so special. These are two icons. George Harrison's been gone for so long now, and to see this performance that I'd never seen before, it was really special. But I couldn't help but not think in the back of my head, here comes the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, yeah. Which is funny. That's fun foreshadowing. I didn't realize that was actually foreshadowing until now.
Sure.
I also didn't notice, and this is something that occurred to me this morning, George's shirt he's wearing is basically just like a promo shirt for his album, 33 1/3, which I only know of a phrase as a Naked Gun movie. So now I understand that the Naked Gun 33 1/3 is probably referencing the title of this George Harrison album.
It goes deeper than that. 33 1/3 is either, it's one or the other. It's a vinyl record reference.
Okay.
33 1/3 is either the size of a vinyl record, a traditional vinyl record, or the speed at which you play your vinyl records on your thing. 33 1/3 is a thing.
Vinyl nerds.
There's a series of books called 33 1/3 that each focus on a different album and the production of it.
Neat.
33 1/3 is also the age George Harrison was when he released this album.
Right.
So it's his 33 1/3 album, which does reference music. So that's what Naked Gun was referencing,
Neat.
33 1/3.
You learn something new every day. Thanks, vinyl nerds.
You're welcome. The final verse, because they've been trading harmony. They've been like picking up little moments. The final verse when both of them are singing in full harmony the whole time, and Simon takes that high harmony for the entire verse. It's just beautiful. It doesn't best the Beatles song, but this is probably one of the best times the song has been performed.
What's next?
Paul Simon and George Harrison perform Homeward Bound. It's a 1966 single by Simon and Garfunkel that appeared in the U.S. on their album Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme, and in the U.K. on the album Sounds of Silence.
Every day is an endless stream of cigarettes and magazines. Ooh. And each town looks the same to me, the movies and the factories, and every stranger's face I see reminds me that I long to be homeward bound. I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts are sleeping, home, where my music's playing, home, where my love lies waiting silently for me.
Well, Turnabout's fair play, so I love that they did a Beatle track and then followed it immediately by a Simon and Garfunkel joint, because these are both from their group projects, not their solo stuff. However, this one, to me, felt a little more forced. George clearly didn't know this one as well as Paul knew Here Comes the Sun.
Oh, you felt that way?
You could obviously see him reading the lyrics. His eyes were fully in one spot when it was his turn to sing. He was 100% on cue card. The song is good and it goes well. It just wasn't as good as the one they had just done. And coming from the one they had just done.
It's Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah. It's also the third time we've seen this particular song on NBC Saturday Night.
At least, because they've played that film with it in the background a couple times.
They did two of those films
twice,
and
and
this.
he's played it.
Yeah.
I love that this is the Simon and Garfunkel song they chose. I did not notice George reading the lyrics. I believe you. What I thought, though, was George, and maybe partially because he doesn't know the song as well, his delivery of his verse felt unique. And it felt like he brought some of his own inflection to the words and to the lines. And whether it was purposeful or not, it helped this sound like a slightly different interpretation on the song, similar to the first one, unlike him trying to be the Garfunkel to his Simon. Because here it's not that. George has the lower part and sings the lower melodies, while Paul Simon sings the higher melodies.
I can't believe what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But it just didn't seem like George Harrison's guitar playing was confident in this song. Like he knew what he was doing, but like he was almost trying to stay quiet on purpose and underneath Simon. So that to like he
was letting him take the lead, which is like
knew what he was
way
doing,
taking back.
But like it just, to me, with the reading of the cue cards and the way that he was kind of playing so softly, felt like he was less confident about this one and didn't want to expose himself.
I wonder if this is part of why he wanted to pre-record the segment.
Possibly.
I also wonder, I mean, this song doesn't already come with and doesn't call for a lot of Harrisonisms, like guitar melodies that he would do. So all he's really doing is like strumming and playing the chords.
And you know what? I can play the intro to a Creedence Clearwater Revival song, on guitar. So I think I'm worthy of critiquing George Harrison's guitar playing for sure. Yeah. I mean, I used to be the guitar player in Dear Left Brain, baby.
And I think it might have mostly been Paul, but you were the guitar player in what?
Dear Left Brain.
What is that? A band, I'm assuming.
Do
they have music I could find?
Nope.
Okay. Were they good?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, when I wasn't in it, yeah.
Oh. I liked at the end. There's some cool guitar riffing at the end of the song as they close it out, which did mostly come from Simon because he's closing out his own song.
Right.
I just think these two back to back like create one piece of like what a performance, what a team up, something that feels like it couldn't have even happened. Like George Harrison and Paul Simon on SNL playing these songs together.
On Thursday, yeah.
Wild.
No offense to our friends in Canada or the band. I would rather see back-to-back songs by these two.
Well, the band was a big revelation for me. What I will say, because we're about to step into the next thing, which is the first of George Harrison's 2 music videos that we see in this episode, what I really would have loved is an episode that did not have Paul Simon as host, where George Harrison was the musical guest and got to perform these songs from his album live on stage, instead of like coming out with his guitar to make an appearance, sing his Beatles tune, and get out of there. I would have loved an episode where George Harrison was the true musical guest.
Yeah. I don't think that Lauren had the $3,000.
That's fair. What's next?
Well, it's Crackerbox Palace. Eric Idle's music video for the song Crackerbox Palace from George Harrison's 1976 album 33 1/3. It features George Harrison and Neil Innes. Neil is one of the Monty Python guys, I believe.
He's a collaborator with them. He's not like a official member, I don't think.
No, I think he's related to one of the official, because the last name is setting off alarm bells for me.
And he is the pram pusher. He's the person in drag that's pushing George Harrison in a stroller in this music video.
I was so young when I was born, my eyes could not yet see, and by the time my first dawn Crackerbox Palace. We've been expecting you. You bring such joy in Crackerbox Palace. No matter where you roam, no our love is.
I want to talk a little bit about the song, and then I want to talk about the music video. Okay, I'm a nerd. I had to look into this. This song, Crackerbox Palace, I've known it for a long time. I find the doo-doop, 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 doo-doop. It's got this nice groove that's really catchy that you can like bounce along to. I never knew what it was about. I assumed it was nonsense. This song was inspired by Harrison's meeting with a guy named George Grief, who Harrison said resembled a late comedian named Lord Buckley, and then found out that George Grief had previously been the manager to that guy, this comedian that died. So together they visited Lord Buckley's former home, which was called Crackerbox Palace. Harrison jotted the words down onto a cigarette pack and later wrote the song. The song includes references to Grief and to Buckley. In this video, Eric Clapton appears.
Yep.
And Harrison's future wife, Olivia Arias, appears.
Who at the time was probably Eric Clapton's wife?
Yes, and Harrison's soon-to-be ex-wife / I believe Clapton's soon-to-be wife as well.
They swapped?
Patty Boyd.
I didn't know they swapped.
Maybe I got the swap backwards.
I knew that Harrison married Clapton's wife.
Maybe I'm getting the swap backwards.
I think it's back because Layla is about Harrison's wife.
Sure.
Yeah.
This was shot at Harrison's home, Friar Park, which Harrison had nicknamed Crackerbox Palace. I love this song. I like the silly video because this is SNL 1976 live TV rebroadcasting. The sound mix is awful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. You can talk now.
I mean, the video fit better with SNL than another music video would have because it was kind of silly and like almost intentionally nonsensical.
Had some home movie charm to it.
Yeah, but it also just like reminded me of like a bootleg Labyrinth or like a bootleg Rocky Horror without the murder. I like Eric Idle more as a Monty Python performer than a director of music videos. This was not my thing.
I like the other music video a lot more. This one is fine. There's some interesting little freaks that they got some cool makeup. They got some cool like circusy performer looking people. I like the little gnome dudes with the hat that are like swaying back and forth from the background.
They're essentially Oompa Loompas.
And then I like the ending shot where they're all at like a Last Supper type table. And then as the song, like the last guitar chord like keeps ringing out and it backs up a little more every time.
The zoom on the camera backs out as the music hits.
Yeah.
So when a chord hits, it will zoom out at the same time, and it just does that until the end of the song.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It was an interesting move by the director Eric Idle. It was probably the best thing about the whole video to me.
I thought this first one was fine. I do really like the song though. I also like the part where they're on like a toy train kind of thing, and George is at the front of it and he's like shimmying, and there's also a bunch of people behind him, but I can catch that he's also steering the train. Okay. So he'll like shimmy, then like correct the steering wheel, then like shimmy. It just had this really ramshackle home movie vibe.
Trains are famously on rails. They don't need to be steered.
It felt like a model toy train that you could ride out without a track on. Maybe a train's the wrong thing, but it was that kind of like.
Okay, I got you.
I'm familiar with the concept of a train. Thank
you. Yes. Well, next we get a bumper. It's a man in the crowd. We'll definitely leave here alone. This is exactly the kind of audience member that you do not want to give a zoom in and a bumper.
He wasn't as bad as the old guy that did the weird hand stuff last time.
I think he was worse. He pulled a fucking comb out of his pocket.
He started slicking his hair back. He looks like a guy that would leave home. If anything, it was proving the bumper right, which made it kind of funny.
Sure.
You take the next one.
It's the story of Billy Paul. It's a live sketch. Billy Paul, played by Paul Simon, defends civil rights at an ice cream parlor. In this week's 4-hour sketch, Paul Simon rides a grocery store horsey ride in front of a Viewmaster and then has a showdown with a racist owner of an ice cream parlor in the name of protecting Indians, wild horses, and runaway kids of all races and religions.
Indians, of course, being played by Gilda Radner.
Gilda
and
goes
Garrett
moderately
Morris.
hard on some cultural appropriation, for sure. Lorraine has like this hybrid Sherry voice that's a little bit deeper at first, and then essentially just becomes Sherry.
Is she not Sherry?
Well, the voice is just different at first.
She looks like Sherry,
and then she morphs it kind of like it's got Sherry tones, but it's deeper. And then she brings it kind of back up into Sherry later in the sketch.
She hits the word man like Sammy Davis Jr. She's like, man.
Right. That's what there was things about it that made me think it wasn't Sherry, and usually they introduce her as Sherry when it is.
In the voiceover part, when he's on the grocery store horsey, part of Jane's voiceover kind of had shades of a precursor to the Californians.
Ooh.
When she goes really deep on talking about all of the like highways and paths that Billy Paul would take.
And the fact that he's it's Billy Paul, but not the Billy Paul that recorded Me and Mrs. Jones. That's
probably the best joke in this whole thing.
Me and Mrs. Jones is a 1972 soul song written by Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, and Carrie Gilbert, and originally recorded by Billy Paul.
Different Billy Paul.
They often get confused. It describes an extramarital affair between a man and his lover, Mrs. Jones. In the song, the two meet in secret every day at the same cafe at 6:30, where they hold hands and talk. The two are caught in a quandary. We've got a good thing going on. We both know that it's wrong, but it's much too strong to let it go now.
It's a great song.
It is. I was pretty sad that this and the Kissinger in the Baba Wawa sketch were the only times we get to see Belushi all episode.
Yeah, Belushi's a little better in this one. He sells his throw through the glass window pretty well.
Yeah. The throw through the glass window was the only part of it I really liked out of him.
I like...
The door coming back on Paul's face when he kicked it in was amazing.
I like Paul's demeanor in this. From the sketch isn't great.
No.
It's actually pretty bad.
It was his interaction with Jane's voiceover that sold it for me in the beginning.
Yeah, I am
like,
pretty,
she would say something,
pretty deadly.
he would just agree with it.
Not much else was known about him. He just rode into town one day and said,
I'm here to help Indians, wild horses, and runaway kids of all races and religions. You got any here?
They called him a renegade.
A renegade? Yeah, I am a renegade.
There were certain things that were known for sure. He was a Vietnam vet and a black belt in karate.
That's right. I am.
And the way that, like, he's Paul Simon. He's maybe shorter than I am. He's like 5.5 feet or less.
Right.
He's not that much taller than Sabrina Carpenter. And he's like got this. He's also not in the Finn Wolfhard way, but he's kind of got a soft boy nature about him, where like he's very like sensitive. I wouldn't expect him to like throw punches.
Okay.
So to have someone like that be like
the Chuck Norris character,
I could fuck you off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. Why does Dan always play racist pieces of shit so well?
Because Dan can play anything really well.
And every time he does it, it was the same in the B sketch. Was that last week? That it just feels like too real in a way that is like, wow, Dan's really good at this. Crushing all the cones, no cones for non-whites. It's crazy.
Dan Aykroyd, I will remind everybody, was raised by French-Canadian women.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, French-Canadians have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder about English people, for sure.
Yeah.
So there could be some
He saw
element.
a lot of this firsthand.
Yeah, could be an element of it, for sure.
So Gilda, when...
By the way, Gilda in pigtails, adorable.
Adorable.
But the appropriation part, tough.
The Native Americans want some ice cream. Ice cream man says no, crushes all the cones. And then when Lorraine's Shelley adjacent character tries to speak up, Gilda just keeps going for like one little bite of ice cream,
That
trying
part
to get
was funny,
it.
yeah.
That was pretty funny. And then I get distracted because I'm like, that's a real ice cream cone. It's going to fall apart.
It's going to melt.
And then it does.
Yep.
And I'm almost like out of the sketch. And the sketch is so long and has so much space in between stuff that happens that I can spend 30 seconds thinking about ice cream.
Yeah.
Gilda is going to kill racism with song.
The song wasn't good and the idea was worse.
Do you know the reference? Do you know the person?
No.
She is singing a real song by a real artist who is really Native American named Buffy St. Marie. And I kind of felt like Gilda might even be wearing one of those vibrating things that you would put around your chest to work out back in the day.
That used to
give her
pass
like
for
the
weight loss.
And they're making fun of a real Native American musician here.
I don't like that at all.
John shows up as Bernard to enable Luke's racism. Oh my God, the flower sequence. Where's your flower? The line is, where's the flower you keep to degrade all non-members of the white race? I feel like in their heart, they're trying to make a joke about racist bigots, but watching this on screen and how much of this is just racism, this is like take it off of streaming quality. The flower on the face, this is like, why would Paul Simon want people to know he was a part of this all those years ago? Like, I'm surprised that this is still as accessible as it is.
This is into the territory of, you talked about earlier, you are not a revisionist history type of guy. You like to be, take it for what it is when it was.
You're
but
right.
Like when you
I agree
offered this project to me initially, smash cut to a sketch just like this.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, well, there's nothing to talk about here.
But I think we've proven that there isn't nothing to talk about.
We definitely
here.
have, but like this is the shit I didn't want to subject myself to.
Yeah. Well, I think it is an important part of the history of the show that we've decided to spend all this time talking about. And I do think there are times when it wasn't hilarious, but like the Nazi bit, there are times when something I don't want to subject myself to comes along with a point or a joke that does make me laugh or that does have some meat on its bones and is done in that 70s angle that wouldn't work today and leaves like a taste in your stomach, but you can see the point. This got a little too close to like the flower thing was just rough. So Billy Paul has been trying really hard to be nonviolent, honest to God. He shows up. He's been off having like a thing where snakes repeatedly bite his ankles on a reservation or something.
Yeah, who cares?
He comes back to beat everybody up. Luke, Dan Aykroyd's character, tries to scale it back with bribing him with ice cream. He lists a bunch of flavors. One of the flavors is banana bunt, which sounds delicious.
To who?
To me.
Oh.
Do you not like banana flavored stuff?
Ugh.
Do you not like bananas?
I'll eat a banana because it's one of the most healthy things that a human can eat for themselves.
You don't like bananas?
I force myself to eat bananas.
Bananas are delicious.
And Jenna eats all of my banana runts and all of my rye chips and Chex Mix because I don't like either.
I knew I liked Jenna more than you.
Yeah, everybody does.
No, I don't. But Jenna and I agree on certain things. I'm a big rye. I will always eat all your rye chips. Like whenever,
like hell, you will.
Whenever we go
me.
on our New York 30 Rock trip, I'll eat all your Biscoff and rye chips while you sleep because Jenna won't be there.
True. Well, you can't have my pickles because Katie's gonna have them. Well, next we get a bumper. It's Wonder Woman meets Wonder Bread.
There is something that we didn't talk about here.
Here we go.
The protest at the end. You don't want to talk about the chocolate, vanilla, strawberry ice cream cones that signify black, white, and red together at the same time. And then the sketch ends with them all holding them up like Olympic torches. We got to talk about the end of the sketch. Come on.
You just did.
Yeah. Cool. I'm not saying we got to spend all day about it, but I wanted to talk about how the sketch ends with Paul Simon leading an anti-racist troop through 8H in the weirdest joke to a song that is just such a strange non-ending to this sketch.
Well, you were talking about like
the non-starter.
The racist stuff having a point at the end of it. This was supposed to be the point. And
it was supposed to be the point.
Neapolitan ice cream.
And it didn't hit.
Yeah.
And even the
Spumoni,
point,
I guess,
had some like, you're not going to refer to Native people as red strawberry ice cream anymore. Like even that today feels like weird.
Yeah, because of the Washington football team's now named the Commanders.
Okay. I'll stop now.
Next we get a bumper. It's Wonder Woman meets Wonder Bread.
I have nothing to say about that.
It would be close, but I'm going to give the nod to Wonder Woman on this one. I feel like the superhuman speed, strength, stamina, and durability would defeat gluten in this case.
Wonder Bread can absorb the blows. It's very like absorbent and porous.
I don't know. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Simon performs Something So Right from his 1973 album, There Goes Ryman Simon.
When something goes wrong, I'm the first to admit it. I'm the first to admit it. And the last one to know. When something goes right, oh, it's likely to lose me. It's apt to confuse me. It's such an unusual sight. Oh, I can't get used to something so right. Something so right.
I don't think I knew this song. Did you know this song? Am I boring you or is Paul Simon boring you?
This song put me to sleep instantly.
It is at that point of the night. It's slow. I get why Paul Simon broke out a song like this because your playlist needs peaks and valleys. You need some like high highs and you need some things that kind of scale it back a little bit. But it's late and it's like a very nice and lulling melody and song that it could put you right to sleep.
Yeah.
But I don't think it puts me to sleep in the way that other musical guests have put you to sleep. I feel like it puts me to sleep because Paul Simon has wrote a very beautiful, lulling and nice melody that is just nice to close your eyes to and lay back. I don't think that's a bad thing this time.
Songs like this are the reason that I skipped songs in SNL episodes.
So had you not heard this song before?
And I don't want to.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite song of the night, but when I was watching it, I was wondering if that's only because I have so much recognition for every other song. Like there are slow songs that I love, but I know them already. I wonder if I was hearing all of these songs somehow for the very first time, if I would feel differently about certain ones than I do. Because how can you compare this to Homeward Bound when I know that song like the back of my hand now? Anyway.
Yep. What's
I
next?
liked the double shot usage, so we could
They
see
do that a lot now.
Simon's fingers on his guitar.
Yep, that's something that SNL in olden times does better than SNL now.
They've always done it
the camera
from
work
the
during the
beginning.
during the music.
And when they use it to show them playing their instrument, I think it is so fascinating. I love seeing a close-up view. Whenever I go to concerts, the reason I like to be as up close as possible is because I love watching them play their instruments. And really like lock in with their instruments and see the fretboard and see like the work that they're doing with their hands.
You can do that while you're getting elbowed and shoved around and having beer spilled on you.
If you do it right, absolutely. But I've come to the place where like, if you want that experience, you pretty much have to be in the front.
Right.
Any farther back, it is kind of a nightmare being in a pit and being elbowed and shoved by people. But where was this during the Harrison duet? Why couldn't we have watched George Harrison's fingers play Here Comes the Sun? That would be like historically important.
True.
Fine song, fine performance. I'm asleep now.
Same.
Up next, a live sketch. It's called Tomorrow. Tom Snyder, played by Dan Aykroyd, discovers that he has confused Paul Simon for a truck driver with the same name.
We haven't seen Tom Snyder in a while.
No, just the one time, I think.
Yeah. This was pretty fun.
Did you think it was strange how it started? Because it starts with the B-roll of music with the trucker footage.
Yep.
And then there's no Tomorrow logo.
Nope, there's no
here's Tom Snyder.
Nope.
I even think it takes the audience a second to put together what's happening until he really dives into the impression work.
I kind of thought it was gonna. They were doing Charlie Rose at first for a second,
Sure.
and then I was like, oh no, this is
Tom Snyder
again.
And it's still good. I mean, Dan Aykroyd's great as this character. This is really good usage of Paul Simon in this episode.
Mhm.
And again, I said earlier,
he gets to play the straight man, and he gets to play himself,
and he gets to play himself like frustrated.
and Dan gets to flamboast this wonderful Tom Snyder impression. So like, I think this is good. This one worked for me. And
This
it was
one worked for me, too.
Perfect length.
Perfect length. I even like, it doesn't mean anything to me, but I love entertainment so much that Tom Snyder like giggling over in jokes about what room is where in the building where they filmed the show. Like, I thought that was kind of cute.
That's Aykroyd's genius.
Yeah.
But you do write songs about trucks and truckers.
No, I've never written a song about a truck or truckers.
All right, sir. Somewhere along the line, I guess I made a mistake, or my staff has made a mistake, and well, when I heard that we booked Paul Simon, I assumed that it was the Mr. Simon that we'd interviewed before from the ITA.
I guess
you're not that Paul Simon. You're Paul Simon, the writer. And now that I know who you are, and you know that I know who you are,
right?
My first question to you, sir, would be, how the heck do you do it? You have an endless string of hits: Barefoot in the Park, The Odd Couple. Star-Spangled Girl, California Suite, which incidentally I saw in California and I saw in New York, and I like the New York production a lot better. How do you keep coming up with them?
I don't, actually. That's Neil
Plays,
Simon. I think you're thinking of Neil Simon, aren't you, the playwright? Neil Simon.
And you're Paul
Simon.
So you'd be a relation to him, and that's why you're here tonight.
No relation.
So like, he admits his mistake, but then will not actually admit his mistake the whole time.
Or at least not ask to be corrected.
Right.
Because then he thinks he's Neil Simon, which I thought was even funnier. And the way that they set that reveal up with, oh, you're the writer. How the heck do you do it? You have an endless string of hits. Barefoot in the Park, The Odd Couple. So it works for Paul Simon, and then you're right back to, no, that's not me. That's Neil Simon. Oh, you're related to Neil. No, I'm just Paul
I'm
Simon.
Paul Simon.
And then I think for a second, Tom Snyder confuses him for a Beatle.
Possibly.
Because he starts talking about, one of you has a Japanese wife.
Yeah. One of them did.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the Beatles, maybe John specifically. But then Paul storms off. But in his, he plays it cool even when he's angry. He storms off so politely. He's just like, you know what? I think I'm done here. Gets up and walks away. He's not like, fuck you. Know who I am. I'm Paul Simon. He's like, I think we're done. And he stands up and leaves. And then Tom goes into the anger of the 60s.
Yep.
Showing itself.
This one was fun.
How did Tom Snyder know about Paul Simon's benefit coming up if he didn't know who Paul Simon was?
That's a multiverse problem. Then we get a song. It's a music video again. Eric Idle's music video for this song from George Harrison's 1976 album, 33 1/3, depicts chaos in the courtroom in a case surrounding Harrison.
Okay, this is the song that I especially wanted to give my deep dive information on because there's some interesting stuff about this song, this song.
I also dove on this one, but you go ahead.
Well, first of all, it's introduced by Dan Aykroyd as Tom Snyder. Here's a film by George Harrison.
I like this trend. I like the trend of introducing in character in the sketch before.
I mean, they even kind of did it recently on the show when Ariana Grande introduced Cher as Castrati or whatever. A Cher. Harrison wrote this song after spending a week in a courtroom trying to convince a judge that his song My Sweet Lord did not infringe the copyright of the Chiffons' 1963 song She's So Fine. He
so fine.
wrote this song to express his frustration at the case in the form of an up-tempo piano-driven track, that piano being played by Billy Preston. The song tackles plagiarism and mocks serious analysis of a pop song. I can just imagine, because it still happens. I remember when Ed Sheeran was getting sued.
Went through it, and Dua Lipa.
And you see those videos of like Ed Sheeran with his baby guitar in the court playing his song, trying to explain why it's different. And I can see as a creative like how awful that must be, just to like break down every note and be like, well, this note's this and this note's this and that means this. It's gotta be soul sucking.
There's a video circulating on Reddit recently of like 3 or 4 guys that are in a band and they're playing in front of a bunch of people and they're playing 4 chords and they start with a song that everybody knows and then they kind of like it changes a little bit and it's just a different song but it's the same chords.
Yeah.
And that's the point that they're making. Dua Lipa won her case for the song Levitating, which, dude...
What song were they saying it was like?
It's an old reggae band.
Okay.
But if you heard the 2 songs together,
you'd be like, that's
there's
the same.
No question.
That it's similar.
There's no question. Not similar, dog. She stole it.
Yeah.
Like, because you can accidentally stumble on the chord progression and you can accidentally stumble on a melody, but to do them both at the same time, that's fucking ridiculous.
And then you get into the impossible question of, was it mindful plagiarism or not?
Right.
Because it's the same with My Sweet Lord. What's the, he's so fine, my sweet Lord. They're very, very close to each other.
Rather than the Chiffon song, George Harrison said that he used the out-of-copyright Christian hymn, Oh Happy Day, as his inspiration for the melody.
And it does sound like that too.
Which that actually has a case then. But like, dude, my thing will be to go rewatch what you told me to rewatch. Your thing needs to go to listen to Levitating
and the
then
song.
Whatever. I will. They're fucking exactly the same.
And as someone who loves art and loves music and doesn't, I mean, obviously like stealing someone's work is bad.
Right.
Do you think that is bad that Dua Lipa wrote a song that happens to sound exactly like another song?
I think that like in the Ed Sheeran case and he was in court playing guitar trying to defend himself.
He was in like the 4 chords argument.
And he won his as well. But then a second artist sued Dua Lipa for the same fucking thing. And I actually haven't heard the 2 comparisons on that one.
It seems like a pattern.
But yeah, if it starts to be a pattern, then now this isn't subconscious.
And honestly, at a point, that might be more on the team of songwriters that Dua Lipa is working with than the artist herself. Anyway, a little bit more about this song. This song is incredibly meta in ways that I really like. First of all, there's a line, this tune has nothing bright about it.
Yep.
That references Bright Tunes, the company that owned the copyright to He's So Fine, which is really silly. The song gets even more meta with the opening riff referencing the 4 Tops, I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, which Harrison goes on to reference the similarity playfully in the song, even adding the voice of 2 rat bags voiced by Eric Idle, doing that high-pitched British voice that's in some Beatles songs as well, I believe, because I think John did like to do this voice as well, arguing over if this song sounds more like I Can't Help Myself or Fontella Bass's Rescue Me or Bass's Rescue Me. I just think there's something really fun, silly, and clever about this pretty simple, catchy tune and the music video that fits hand in hand with the idea of the silliness and the banality of being in court over music. I think this song is pretty good.
I like this one based on the interesting story behind it and the meta choices that were made in the lyrics and music video, but I don't really like the song.
Really?
It's like
Had you heard it before? Had you heard either of these songs before?
No. And it's just definitely not one I would ever listen to by myself for any reason.
It might not make you feel, it might not change your mind on it, but I would recommend listening to the album cut if you like George Harrison, because I think that the sound quality in this episode of the music in these videos like highly affected their quality.
Okay.
You probably won't feel any differently, but I do think the clean track sounds so much better.
Yeah, because like, what I'm doing is I'm telling you that I don't enjoy the song itself.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, but if you focus on these things that aren't the song itself, you're like, no, bro, I don't like any of that stuff in it. Like, it doesn't matter what the sound quality was. I just didn't enjoy the song.
I just find this song so like toe tapping and catchy that I can see not thinking it's like deep or not thinking it's your favorite. But what do you not like about it?
It was like with the again, like I don't really think Eric Idle's a music video director to me. Like,
I agree with that.
And in like the whole shtick about like. It's meta, and I didn't really understand a lot of it until I deep dove it, and then once I did, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting, but it didn't push me over on the song at all.
Sure. One other thing about the music video, there are a couple of cool appearances. The music video's cast includes a studio drummer named Jim Keltner, the Rolling Stones member Ronnie Wood, Harrison's future wife Olivia, and also Harry Nilsson as the guard. Do you know who Harry Nilsson is? Another famous 70s
We're not talking about. Okay, I don't.
Who did you think I was talking about?
I actually don't know.
Okay. But he is the guard at the end that George Harrison is like handcuffed to while he's playing and getting dragged out of the courtroom. The other thing I noticed is that George Harrison has some long ass teeth. Did you notice this?
I mean,
he has some Jimmy Carter chompers. There are no gums to be seen anywhere in that mouth.
So he's got capital teeth and lowercase gums.
Mm-hmm.
I know people with the opposite.
Well, that's all I got on that. I love George Harrison. The 33 1/3 album is definitely like a mid-lower tier George Harrison album. It's good. It's fine. It's not his most inspired work. If you want that, you got to go to All Things Must Pass, which is one of the best albums by any Beatle and rivals some of the Beatles albums. And then even his second album, Living in the Material World, is really good. The album that came out after he died, Brainwashed, that album's really great. There's so much great George Harrison solo stuff. This was just kind of like he was doing the music for the business, and the music was fun, but the music wasn't quite as important as it was at other times.
Okay.
What's next?
It's Paul Simon performing Bridge Over Troubled Water from the Art and Garfunkel 1970 album Bridge Over Troubled Water.
When the tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Times get rough, and friends just can't be found like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down.
It's a good song, but it's fucking 1 a.m. and it's just a downer.
It's more than a good song.
I mean, it's a good song.
It's probably up there with Simon's most historical compositions. Like, this song it like transcends Simon and Garfunkel.
So many people have covered it. It's now one of those like old jazz standards itself.
I grew up kind of thinking it was a hymn or something.
Right.
Not knowing it was a Simon and Garfunkel song or that it was like a pop musician
It
song.
does have kind of elements of a hymn to it.
It's cool that he's doing it by himself, that he's just playing his song. His voice, like, I can't get over how perfect and crystalline his voice is all night, and it still is. But you're right, it's the end of the night. There's so many songs in this. I wish he would have done this instead of the last one that he did.
Mm-hmm.
If it was going to be a slow song, this is the one that I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But especially, and I love the Harrison songs that we get in this and the music videos, but it's been like song.
Paul Simon episode. What the hell else is it going to be?
Yeah. So at this point, you're like 6 minutes left.
Exactly. Like, this is, God damn it. Like, they never get a clue.
But it's cool closing out the show with just him, a spotlight, a guitar, and one of his most beautiful melodies that he's written, just all on his own, standing by himself. Like, if this was a Paul Simon concert, it would bring the house down.
Sure. But it was an episode of NBC Saturday Night.
Yep. And speaking of it, after the song, we get our host portrait, which is Paul Simon looking pretty nifty in a little winter fit.
In November. Yep. And then we get the good nights. He says, good night, happy Thanksgiving, and a special apology to Michael O'Donoghue. He says Mike knows why.
We got to speculate wildly.
We don't have to because I did a bunch of reading and comments.
Did you find
and stuff.
out?
I don't. There was a lot of consensus stuff. Seemed to be that a Mr. Mike's least favorite bedtime stories got cut.
That was my guess. And maybe because Paul Simon was like, this isn't funny.
Because Paul Simon had the final say on what made it in and what didn't in that particular episode.
And Mr. Mike was probably like, you could cut one of your songs. Like, this is a sketch show. Let me do my weird thing. And Paul's
no, John Mulaney, we don't do that.
We're doing your sketch show. I don't want to do that one. I want to play my song.
Right. And Mike obviously has a fiery temper, and someone suggested to do that to quell his bitching backstage.
Interesting. To me, Paul, and this is just because he's a good performer, the way he says it on stage makes it sound like it was like an in-joke or something, and like they were buddies, and this was like an in-joke to something that they talked about off stage. But what you say is exactly what my mind went to of what could have happened.
Yeah, another commenter had a really, really intricate story about O'Donohue having IBS and Paul Simon taking all of his buddies into Mike's private bathroom and smoking it out and locking him out of there when he needed to poop, so he shit his pants in the hallway. And it clearly was copy pasta or some nonsense of somebody just making shit up. But like,
we don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah, somewhere in between O'Donohue shitting his pants in the hallway and getting Mr. Mike's bedtime stories cut. In that case, thanks, Paul Simon. I appreciate you.
Would you have rather watched a Least Loved bedtime story, or would you have rather watched Michael O'Donoghue shitting his pants while Paul Simon smoking in his bathroom?
Oh, absolutely, the second one.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
Well, also Don Pardo hangs 10 and takes us out as he announces next week's lineup of Jodie Foster and Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys.
Oh, good. You get to fanboy next week, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And like, Brian Wilson's performances will probably be like fine. He's not going to play like his hits. He's going to play some like songs that he likes.
Right.
And Brian Wilson is a tortured, misunderstood genius. And this is like a time when he was like not getting out of bed and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. I don't think I'm going to be as like, look at how oozing perfection and cool he is. Like I feel about George Harrison. It's going to be like,
oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Brian, you ooze as well. You ooze. You ooze.
I do a lot of oozing. Let's close this up.
Well, there are a couple other things I noticed in the Good Nights. Dan's wielding an axe.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a Tin Man kind of prop that has nothing to do with anything. And John is like kind of dressed up like a blues brother and playing the guitar on stage.
They're probably writing it back there.
And I also liked when Don Pardo went, "Wee" to close out the episode.
I just love Pardo.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what he says. It's just good every time.
Generally.
Closing segments. Host thumbs up, thumbs down.
I liked him much better this time.
Yeah, he came to play, and you can tell that he enjoys being there.
Yeah.
Musical guest, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Up, I suppose. 3 for 5. Who was the musical guest? Was it fucking Paul Simon? Was it George Harrison?
Are you, when you say 3 for 5, does that include the music videos?
I think I include all, yeah.
Because that almost like is a thing of its own because it's not music being performed live on the show. It's just listening to his album track over a music video.
Okay, well then 2 for 4.
Because like we didn't count me and Julio down by the schoolyard. Is like, okay, it's interesting.
2.5 for 4 because I didn't like the Sleepy One, and Bridge Over Troubled Water is a good song, but I didn't want to hear it.
I have to give this like the biggest thumbs up possible, specifically because of the 2-hand Here Comes the Sun, Homeward Bound, which feels like this music crossover that I'll be returning to, that I'll remember as like a touchstone moment in the show. For that alone, I got to give high praise.
For those of you that are out there keeping track of how big Zach's thumbs are.
They're large. They're big. Bigger than you'd think. Too big. Best sketch of the night.
Tomorrow?
There's no question.
Yeah.
It's Tomorrow. I like the style of the Twilight Zone parody, but they did not have the meat for
Twilight
it.
Zone was almost there.
I hope they try it again and do better next time. And I got to give a massive shout out because like Quarry was the best thing in this whole episode.
Pretty funny.
And it doesn't count, but it was my favorite by a lot.
On a list of pre-tapes, it's gonna be up there.
I'll be talking about it for sure at the end of the season.
For sure.
MVP not ready for primetime player.
Aykroyd, not too tough.
Aykroyd for me as well, not too tough.
Not too tough at all.
His Rod Sterling is great. He's a racist ice cream guy. He's all over this thing. Overall episode rating.
6.
I am going to be very generous, and it is just because of the music, which feels kind of fitting for a Paul Simon episode. The sketches this week are so weak. Like, the sketches are not even weak in a like they tried and it didn't work kind of way like they have in some of the last few weeks. Just in like, there weren't a lot of good ideas this week. It felt like they were kind of like pumped about Paul Simon and George Harrison, so it put all the comedy kind of on the back burner. What?
Commenters, imagine watching a sketch comedy show and judging it by the musical acts.
I know. That's why I'm giving an asterisk. There was an episode a week or two ago that I gave like a 7.5 because the sketches weren't that good, but I thought moments were funny and I really liked the host and music. That's the highest I can go for this one. It's a 7.5.
Okay.
Because I think if we finish this rewatch ever, if we're doing this podcast 15 years from now, I'll still probably be fangirling about Paul Simon and George Harrison
and
playing and Quarry playing Here Comes the Sun together. So I'm at a 7.5. It was almost like a 7 or 7.2, but I'm at a 7.5. What's next week?
Next
you
week
threw your notes. Do you want me to do
No,
it?
that's fine. Next week we get Jodie Foster with musical guest Brian Wilson. Jodie Foster, who was in the crowd tonight.
Brian Wilson, who was probably in bed that night.
Yep.
That episode originally aired on November 27th, 1976. And now it's time for us to say goodnight.
It's like
good night.
1 in the afternoon. Yeah, okay. Well, it is time for us to say goodnight. I would like to thank Lil for making an appearance in the Circle 2 Lounge
I love
today.
you, Lil.
Very happy to see you. You brought the energy and I needed to wake up.
Aw.
And I hope you have woken up. I'd like to thank, I don't know, the Rams for not letting the Bears go to the Super Bowl. Jesus Christ, thank you. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot else besides that.
I've been on a diet for like the last week.
Ouch.
I would like to thank, I guess, the meal prep place that's making my healthy choices easier. I want to thank Zach Hall for being here across from me in the Circle 2 Lounge. I always enjoy spending my time with you.
Always.
Yeah, I've gotten back to the point, this might be danger because it was trouble last time. I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to kind of like those moments where I take the reign away from you and you're like, go ahead. I'm starting to like it a little bit. Is that bad?
Yeah. But it's fine. I mean, you can call Jenna since you like her better and ask her what happens when she pushes my buttons and plays with my temper on purpose.
Well, I'm not really playing with your temper on purpose, but I do find it a little bit funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Before I was playing with it on purpose. I'm not playing with it on purpose now.
Okay.
Did you feel like I was?
A little bit.
Well, I wasn't. That's just kind of me. I just wanted to talk about the Neapolitan ice cream. Zach, it's been fun. I love talking about this. Jodie Foster will be an interesting episode next week because she's so young.
Yeah, and one of my biggest problems with Taxi Driver is that she played a 12-year-old in the movie, and she was 12 years old when they filmed the movie.
And she was a prostitute. She plays a prostitute.
Yeah, I'm sorry, she plays a sex worker.
Okay, sorry.
And yeah, just look, sometimes people grow up too fast, and it sucks. But like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to them doing stuff with her that's not sexual. Hopefully, Jesus.
What are they going to do with a kid in the room?
I don't fucking
It'll
know,
be
man.
interesting.
Like, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah,
but
well, it's time to close out the show. Thank you, Four Finger Discount.
Four-finger discount.
Follow us at Saturday Night Dive Pod. Email us SaturdayNightDivePod@gmail.com. Give the show a like. Follow us on, subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a comment, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for listening. We're seeing more numbers, and we need to get this thing out there more because it seems like people are liking it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Zach Hall, any final words for the American public?
I can't fit through the door.